Because if it doesn't work, we'll go back to whether. Hey, we should be live. This is Jamie Herring with At Properties, coming to you with my esteemed buyer's agent and teammate,
Jodi Cinq-Mars.
And we are here today to talk about handling this competitive market.
Relationships. We just came through Valentine's Day. We talked about relationships. So we thought maybe talking about a buyer's agent relationship and a seller's agent relationship.
What does that look like? So, oh, good. We have people showing up. Hi there. Nice to see you. Or every time, my goal this year is to master my Facebook Live setup. So I feel like
I think you're getting there.
We're getting better. We have a real microphone and we have new equipment. So it's kind of fun. And I'm really red-faced today. I put a little blush on and it makes me look like I've been drinking all day.
She hasn't.
But I am now. This is where people come and they're like, Jamie's going to say something inappropriate. And it's because of this.
So I'm not drinking, so I'll keep us on track.
Yep. So, all right. So here we are. We're going to make sure we look at this camera because I'm going to forget and stare at myself in the TV. Because isn't that the whole point of Zoom, is that you just want to watch yourself in the Zoom camera the entire time? You're like, no one else. There could be like 10 other people there. And you're like, I just want to watch my face. So, all right. So today we're going to talk about relationships and what does that look like in a buyer's and seller's market. If you haven't heard, this market is very competitive.
So competitive.
So we are seeing multiple offers. Almost every single home, I think every single home we've listed this year has had multiple offers.
Yes.
We are seeing buyers competing. I just joke that there's 5 buyers for every house. And usually it's more than that. I think you said you won out an offer that had 32
offers. When I pulled in, the cul-de-sac was lined with cars. I couldn't even believe it.
So that's really tricky. This is unlike in the last few years where it's kind of been a buyer's market and buyers could come in and try to lowball. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but if you plan on lowballing this market for a house that's in good shape, you're probably not going to move in 2021.
No.
I mean, just to be
blunt.
This
is a seller's market for sure. And I think it's important, if you're just starting to buy for the first time, understanding that there are different relationships with agents. A seller's agent is the agent that comes to your house. They help you get your house ready to go on the market and they write a contract with you and your house is listed. So
that's kind of my role on this team.
Absolutely, so Jamie's role.
On this team, I handle the listings. Like we have co-lists, like Jodi's listing a house that went live today in the Links of English Meadows. And 788 Oak Meadow. So but we work where Jodi's working with the clients and I bring in Brandy. We have the staging. Brandy's our stager you've met. We have all the staging. The whole Herring Homes marketing plan is still behind every one of our listings. I just don't work with buyers as much. I have an amazing team of 6 agents that they do that. So my job as the listing agent is to really communicate with the seller about what needs to be done. Even though it's a competitive market, we still want to provide the top-notch service and staging and excellent photography and walkthrough tours and really make your house stand out. But then when we get to the buyer's agent side, that's kind of like what your experience is right now.
Absolutely. So I'm considered a buyer's agent. And so buyers want to have their own agent because the seller's agent is fighting for the seller to get top dollar on their house. The buyer's agent is fighting for the buyer to get the best deal on the house. That does not mean you can come in $10,000, $15,000 under ask, especially right now. All of the houses, as Jamie said, are going for ask or slightly above. But as a buyer's agent, my job is to listen to you first and foremost. What do you want? What do you need? And then I am working behind the scenes. I am looking night and day for that property that's going to fit your needs. I'm trying to get us into homes that are on the private network. I am hearing in the community, so-and-so is about to move, and I'm going over there and knocking on the door and saying, I heard you're about to move. I've got people waiting to get into your house. And so as a buyer's agent, I am working behind the scenes to get you into the homes that might be the perfect fit. So,
well, you talked really quick. You said something about the private network. The private listing network. So what is that?
Yeah, the private listing network is a underground network, if you will. It is a private network. It means the house is not quite ready to go live. Maybe they haven't gotten the pictures yet. Maybe they're still decluttering. Maybe they're getting a room painted or getting carpet put in the house, but it's giving you a heads up that it's coming, because a lot of times what happens, the houses hit the market and they're gone within 24 hours. So, and it's so frustrating.
As a buyer, you may have seen it this house might pop up on Zillow or a different website, and you may say it says sold during processing, or it'll pop as contingent, sold during processing or sold in the private listing network. And what that means is, like, I've experienced this many times this year. I had a property, we put it in the private listing network. She was still working on a few things, but agents can still request to show it. So the only people right now who have access in the private listing network, you have to have an agent kind of as your gatekeeper. So we can see it in the MLS, and then App Properties uses an app called Zenlist, which we'll talk about in a minute. So an agent came through this property. I know we showed it. Other agents showed it, and then someone wrote a full price offer. My seller was very happy with that. And so she said, okay, we don't even go live. So we kept it in the private listing network as she wanted. And now it went contingent as under sold during processing. So that's kind of frustrating, because a lot of buyers are saying, wait, I didn't even see the house.
Right.
Like, that's the house I want.
And that's the importance of having a good buyer's agent that's listening to you and looking for you, because a lot of times I'll get maybe a Zillow call will come in and they'll say, can you get me into this property? And I'll say, do you have someone that believes that they are your agent, or are you working with another agent? And they'll say, oh yeah, but they're busy. I just want you to open the door. Well, that is not the best way for you to get to your end goal of buying a house, because if I'm just opening a door for you, first of all, I have no idea what you're looking for, and I'm not going to spend time looking for you if you've got other agents doing the same thing. So you have no one committed to you if you're just calling Zillow and asking people to open doors for you. You really want to find the right agent for you, and you may need to shop around for that. You may need to talk to 2 or 3 different agents, but once you find someone that you connect with and that you can trust, that's the person you want to work with. You will get to your end result much quicker with one agent helping you. That being said, if you have an agent that's not responsive or not listening to you or not getting back to you, keep shopping. You are not locked in, but if you've got that relationship with that agent, then they should be working for you and finding exactly what you want.
So one thing on our team, Allison, one of our buyer's agents on our team, Allison Kaspersky, she calls that a Pop-Tart agent. So someone who just like pops up and says, yeah, I'll go and show this house for you. And then you get there and they're like, here's my realtor. And you're like, oh, that's awesome. Because I thought I was your realtor. I always joke from that movie where he goes, I'm the captain now. And I always tell that to my clients, like, I'm your realtor now. Like, you call our team, like, we will fight for you. And I just, with all the Hurrying Homes teams, buyer's agents, like, they are searching the private listing network, just because, like, Zenlist has a ton of listings and more than any other network, but it's not all the listings. And so we still search the private listing network. We have like our ear to the ground. And so people will say, like, we know listings that are coming on that they're just like thinking about it. So we go to those people and say, hey, we have a client looking in your neighborhood. And so you do want that dedicated buyer's agent who, like, we need that loyalty. If we're going to spend all this time like searching for you and fighting for you, and then any salesperson wants that loyalty for you to go, oh no, that's my agent. If you go to an open house, you're like, you sign in, this is my agent, because it's so competitive. So if you don't have a dedicated buyer's agent in this market, I think that's definitely a disservice, because you don't have anyone.
Us.
Yeah, call us. We'll take care of it.
We will take care
of it. Our phones are ringing right now. But it's 847-986-6522. That'll give you our direct number to the office. You can call. And then we talked about Zenlist. So how does Zenlist work for your clients? Do they pay for it?
Zenlist is amazing. No, Zenlist, the client does not pay for Zenlist. We pay for Zenlist. And now App Properties actually pays for Zenlist. But it was an app that we paid for out of our own pocket, and it gave us a little bit of an edge because our clients can see what's on the private listing and also what's on the MLS. And so you have the same access that I have. Now, we have other networks that we work with other agents that we're always sharing information. And that's important too, to find an agent that is linked in and connected to other agents. You need to know, Jamie gets probably 4 or 5 calls a week, what's coming on. She's a huge listing agent in this area, and other agents know that she's going to have properties that they don't know about yet. And so they're always calling and talking to her about
it just happened. We got a call from a buyer. He was outside one of my listings. It's already under contract. And I said, well, it was a 4-bedroom in Chesapeake Farms, which is a neighborhood in Grays Lake. And I said, well, I have another one coming up on Tylerton that's 4 bedrooms. I have 2 more coming up on Tylerton that are 3 bedrooms. So we can take those. My job is, so I feel like we're matchmakers.
We are matchmakers. Yeah.
And you talked about that too. Like, if you know that your clients want an open floor plan and that's so important to them, when we dig through these listings, you're not going to show them homes that are closed off. Like, you got to get out there and find the houses.
We don't have time to waste time because houses literally are going on the market at 10 a.m. And by the next day at 10 a.m.
they're gone.
We've thought about it, and then clients decide, yeah, I think I'll write an offer on that.
It happened this past weekend.
It happened this weekend to me. And we thought about it over the weekend, and then by the time we got back, they're like, sorry, we took an offer. So it's kind of scary to think I'm making the biggest investment of my life and I've got to do it in this short time period. But if you're working with an agent that knows what you want, knows what you can afford, that's another big point. A prepared buyer's agent will make sure that you are a prepared buyer and you will be pre-qualified. There's no reason to go look at a house if you don't have a pre-qualification letter, because you can't do anything. You can't buy a home without a pre-qualification letter.
Yeah, we want that pre-approval there, because you have the power then. You don't have to worry about calling a lender on Saturday night after you just showed houses all day and saying, I want this house. And then a lender might say, like, our lenders we have on speed dial, so we always can make a good recommendation to a local lender. But you might say, no, I want to use my Uncle Mike, and Uncle Mike's in Florida, and Uncle Mike can't get that pre-approval for you. And guess what? You're probably going to lose out on that house.
So get that from the beginning. So we know that we've got you set up with knowing what your needs are. We've got a pre-approval in hand. So when we walk into a home and you're like, this is it, this is the one I love, we know that all we have to do is get the paperwork done and get that turned in. And we can usually do that in 45 minutes. So that's not a big deal. But if we're shifting through and trying to get pre-approvals and trying to determine if this really is the right location, by the time you think through all of that, it will be gone.
Yeah, and we're not exaggerating. I mean, it's not that you can't buy a house in this market. You're just competing.
Yeah.
So
you just have to be prepared.
You need to
have a good agent that's looking behind the scenes for you all the time.
Yeah. And I do think, like, Rosemary Bridges, another agent on the team, her buyers would say, we want to look at all these houses. And then she was like, okay, but I'm going to add a few to the list after she got to know them. So she added a few houses to the list, and they're like, well, we really don't want to see those houses. She's like, just humor me. Let's go see these 2 houses that are on the list. And they went out and saw the houses on the list, and they made an offer. They're like, that's exactly what we were looking for. And I think that good buyer's agent is listening to what you say, and then is in their mind, they're going, okay, which house have I seen that is not even public yet that would work with you? A couple listings, just so if you want to get the inside scoop on things that we have.
You're giving the deeds here.
I know
today.
We have 788 Oak Meadow, which is Jodi's listing. It's 4 bedrooms in Grays Lake North Central. We have Arlington, 1024 Arlington, doing from my memory. That's in Madrona Village. That's in Round Lake, but it's Grays Lake Elementary School. Park School. That one came on today at 259.9. It's beautiful. So you can go to our page and see the video of that. We have a listing coming on under 225 near Grays Lake Central High School that got listed today in the private listing network. So there again, like, it's not going to be on Zillow. So you're going to have to call us or call an agent. I guarantee you, I'm guessing in the next week it'll be gone.
Yeah.
We have Tylerton coming on. So that's the street I used to live on. So I know that neighborhood well. So that one's coming on.
I love that neighborhood. That's
Grace
really,
Lake North High School.
Yes.
We have a listing in Lake in the Hills right now. That is Windermere and Lake in the Hills that you can see on our website as well. That's on. So that's awesome. That one's at $350. And we have all these listings. I have a whole board of all these listings that are coming on. So if you really want the inside scoop, we just say find a buyer's agent. Obviously, we love, call us. And that way we can work with you. And if you have any questions, you can write them in the comments. Any questions about finding a buyer's agent, or do you have to pay a buyer's agent?
Oh,
sometimes we get that question.
Yeah.
So how do you get paid, Jodi?
Yes, I do not get paid. I could show you 500 houses. And if you decided to call someone else to open a door for you and they take you in and write that offer, I get nothing. Just know that. But you do not pay me, the seller. When you list your house, you have an agreement to pay a commission to the buyer's agent and to the seller's agent. So the seller is actually paying my fee. So I essentially am working for you for free. And so that's why it's so important to be loyal to your agents. We are giving up our entire life, really, day and night. We're working around the clock.
I will say there's not a lot of jobs that where you say, I'm going to do all this work and go out and show you all these houses and write the offer, write many offers sometimes, or do the home inspection, watch you get pre-approved, and then it's like, oh, just, and then wait till you close to get paid. So you might have like 6 to 8 weeks worth of work and you're not getting paid anything. So same thing as a listing agent. If I don't sell your house within the time frame in the contract, I don't get paid. And so my job is to put all my effort towards off the bat. That's why we have complimentary staging. And my clients will tell you, like, the staging works. Brandy's great. We have an entire storage room of items, so we don't ask. Allie, I saw your question. I'll get to it in a second. We don't ask you to like go to Home Goods and get a picture. Like, we just bring them with, and we have, which is awesome for you that you can save money. Is there something I can do as a buyer to stand out? That's a great question. And I'm going to just give you a hint for next week. Next week, I have Rosemary Bridges on. She's our agent on our team. She also speaks Spanish. So it's great if you are Spanish, a native Spanish speaker. That's important. But Rosemary and I are talking about how to write a successful buyer love letter, as it's called, to the seller. They're not always encouraged, but they're not against the rules. So until the National Association of Realtors says no more letters, they're not against the rules.
I always encourage my buyers to write.
So next week, Allie, we're going to talk about and provide for you a template that you can follow. But what are some other things they can do to stand out?
So I think coming in prepared, coming in with that pre-approval is huge. Also, if you like the house, let's go for it. This is not the market to test the waters and throw a low offer and think that they're going to come back and go back and forth. That's the good old days where you would put in an offer and they would come back and then you would go back and forth. That doesn't happen. So when you want a house, you need to know that you want the house. You need to come in and you need to go for it. And you need to come in strong.
Yeah, and that's one thing with coming, like the house that you want to write today, there's a meme that says like the house you're going to write on today is the house someone saw yesterday. And so you definitely want to come in. Some things, I think we've talked about them in the past, but a strong offer, have a good down payment, if you can, a good amount of earnest money. So that's like a good faith. And you really, it almost always gets returned to the buyer, but have a good earnest money. Things people have considered is taking a house as is. So you're saying, I'm just going to take it as is. I'll have a home inspection. I can look at it and know what I'm buying, but I'm not going to ask the seller to make any repairs. And that's something that will make your offer. My sellers, as a listing agent, they look for those as-is offers.
The other thing that I've heard recently is that you can go in and you can say, I'm going to write this offer and the first $2,500 in repairs are on me.
Okay.
And then if it's something bigger, then we might ask. But then it's not quite as scary as going all in and saying it's as is, we'll take on whatever comes up or walk away. But that's an option. The other thing is to say that, hey, I'm going to put down this earnest money and it's going to be non-refundable. We'll go in as is and it's non-refundable.
That's riskier.
And that's
for sure.
really risky. But that is saying, I want this house. And I'm willing to give up the $2,000, $3,000 that I'm putting down.
So you got to be sure.
But you need to be 100% sure.
Dancing on that one, or you're going to lose some money if that's the case. Yeah, so those are some things you can do to make your offer stand out, and trying to get out there as soon as possible. So like if you have an agent and they're like, and that's why we have a team, because if, like, let's say Jodi says, I'm going to visit my son in Minnesota. Great. She has 6 other agents that can step in for her to make sure you get into the property.
Right.
So, but getting in there right away, because if you wait till the end of the weekend, it's gone.
Right. If you look for houses on Saturday, it's like going to Costco on Saturday. You know how crazy that is? I hate going to Costco on a Saturday, but I love going on a Tuesday because I can just meander around the store and people are not crashing into me. If you go in and start looking for your house on Saturday, it's so frustrating. I had the sweetest couple. We had 4 houses lined up to go see. 3 of them canceled because they were under contract by Saturday. So we ended up seeing 1 house, and we were just really disappointed because if you can get out, set a date night, get someone to watch your kids, hire one of these high school kids that
hire my daughter.
Yes, Paige is amazing. Paige would be a great babysitter. Hire a babysitter and make it a date night. Get a coffee and let's go look at houses on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. If we can get your house that you want, it will give you a little bit of think time. But what we're seeing a lot is people go out on Thursday or Friday, and then by Saturday morning, all these cancellations. Today, I just got 2.
Yeah, and I do think, just to highlight, that sellers are sometimes, we are in a pandemic now. We have a vaccine, and the rates are much lower than they were just a few months ago. But they're also, if they have a really good offer that came in right away, they necessarily don't want to show it all weekend, because they're going, well, I don't want all these strangers in my house with COVID touching my things. And even though you might be wearing a mask or gloves and have hand sanitizer, some of my sellers are going, we're good. Yeah. That offer was good. We don't need it. We don't need it anymore. And I think if you don't get in there right away, that's definitely a disservice to you.
Right. There's a house that just came on. I've been trying to get in it all day. It's booked. It's booked through Saturday night. So I know booking an appointment on Sunday is pretty worthless, because it will have offers in. I mean, it's an estimate, but for every 10 showings, you typically get an offer if it's priced right. And so if you've got 10 showings in front of you, there will be at least 1 offer. And in this market, usually 3.
Yeah, so it's craziness. Yeah. So we're going to wrap up because I don't want to keep you here forever, but I just wanted to we wanted to give you some good tips. So we really, just to kind of overview, we talked about being loyal to your buyer's agent, because they're the person. A good buyer's agent is digging and searching and fighting for you and like networking. I know we had a situation where we asked an agent, sellers who had an agent, and they were like, she's like, I don't know, we're just putting it in. And we're like, who are you talking to? Who are you networking with? Like, we have so many connections. We're calling other realtors all the time going, what do you have coming on? And then Zenlist is a great tool that we offer for free to you, where you can go in, it's all on your phone or your laptop, and you can search not only what you see on like public sites like Zillow or Realtor.com, but also what you see, what's in the private, not everything, but a lot of what's in the private listing network. And that's free to you. So we'll put a link for that in our comments as well on our page. And then we just kind of talked about like just using the right agent. And my team, my whole team is the right agent.
Really, this whole team is
like
amazing.
A little family.
Yes, we do. We are a great team, and we do work together, and we will make sure that you are covered from start to finish.
You know that we were number 8 out of all the agents in Lake County for 2020.
That's amazing, because when you think Lake County, we're going Lake Forest,
all the big houses,
and we are Grays Lake.
We sold 181 homes. And we definitely sell Gurnee, Lindenhurst, Lakeville, Round Lake, Wakanda, Ingleside, Fox Lake, Antioch, Libertyville, Vernon Hills, Lake Forest. We sell in Lake Bluff, McHenry, Spring Grove, Johnsburg. I think those are like our biggest bulk. Wadsworth
Beach Park. We're out there.
Yep. But like, I kind of joke that if I go south of 290 in Itasca, that's usually when I refer it out. But I grew up in Elk Grove, so like I travel like Cook County. And you're familiar. So like Arlington Heights, Buffalo Grove, Palatine. We've sold and all that. So we really cover. We have a car. We'll travel. And we fight for you. Yeah, Lake in the Hills. We have one there now, Lake in the Hills, and we know that area. So we definitely fight for you. So thank you so much for joining us today. This will be posted to our team. And we will talk to you guys shortly. This is Jamie Herring.
And Jodi Cinq-Mars.
And red face. It's hot in here. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.